So, I recently started listening to the audiobook The Highly Sensitive Child Helping Our Children Thrive When the World Overwhelms Them by Elaine Aron, PhD. This is from 2002. A lot of people who are in the autism community have heard of it. While it doesn't really have much to do with autism, um, highly sensitive people and autistics are kind of connected. There are a lot of shared traits. Um, a lot of autistics are highly sensitive people. A lot of highly sensitive people are autistics. Um, but I decided to start listening to the audiobook. Number one, because my son, who's autistic, is one of these highly sensitive children. I was a highly sensitive child. Um, I would consider myself a highly sensitive person. Um, and Thursday, when I was substitute teaching for PE, one of my students was a highly sensitive child. Um, the student we were playing wiffle ball, and the kids got overly competitive, and this student wasn't able to catch the ball when it was hit to them. And another student kind of yelled at him, saying, "You're supposed to catch the ball," just being a kid, a competitive kid. Well, that put the student into a overwhelmed state for the rest of class. They were in tears. They were inconsolable. They kind of, when it was their turn, their team's turn to bat, they kind of stepped back and just kind of put themselves against the wall, and they were upset. I attempted. I didn't have much time to work with them. The other teacher, apparently, they go through this just about every day with the student. And so the other teacher, due to the lack of education and training in the teaching field, which is the same with the psychological field and counseling field, there is a major lack of training when it comes to autistics, ADHD, highly sensitive people, things like that. And so, unless it is completely obvious that the individual is autistic and have a diagnosis with a 504 plan and IEP and all this, the teachers don't really know how to react, how to handle, how to manage the students, stuff like that. So it's not entirely the teacher's fault. Obviously, really good teachers will go out of their way to learn more about what's happening with their students, whether there's a diagnosis or not. Younger teachers, they may not be in at that point in their careers, in their personal lives, to consider doing this. And it's no fault of theirs, it's just how it is. The highly sensitive child, there are two types. There are the hyposensitive and the hypersensitive. hypersensitive have low levels of serotonin produced by their brains. Serotonin is a mood stabilizing neurotransmitter. It helps you regulate your moods, your emotions, stuff like that. And this isn't just with humans. If you've read the book, or if you're about to read the book, they found studies have shown that this happens with all species in the world. The example they gave were 2 deer. One was hyposensitive, one was hypersensitive, and they come across pasture with really good grass. And while the one lacking in serotonin was extremely cautious and waited, and wanted to really check the surroundings for danger, the one that had increased levels of serotonin rushed in and went after the good grass. Now, evolution says that this could do one of two things. Either the one lacking in serotonin, who's overly cautious, is right, and the one with enhanced levels of serotonin is wrong, meaning that the one who rushes in will be the first one attacked by the danger. Usually other animal predators, However, if the one lacking in serotonin is right, and the one with an abundant, if the one with a lot of serotonin is right, and the one lacking in serotonin is wrong, then that first one is going to get all the good grass, and the one lacking in serotonin is going to become malnourished and likely eventually die out because they're not eating enough. And this is with all species. So what we can do to help these highly sensitive students, when you see a student at that point where they're becoming inconsolable, full of emotions, pull them to the side, away from the other students, and help them to understand their emotions. Ask them what they're feeling. Ask them how they're feeling it. Ask them, like, if they just say they're sad, ask them if there are any other emotions they're feeling. Ask them to describe those emotions. Ask them to describe what brought those emotions on, and just dive deep into it. Help them understand their own emotions. And then once you go through all that, get into some of their special interests. This student, I wasn't able to work through this with them at that time, but this student has really likes Hamilton. I learned this when I was subbing their math class one day. They were telling me about how they love the musical Hamilton and their favorite presidents and stuff like that. So get them talking about their special interest. This will help to increase the serotonin levels. This will help bring them into a better mood. This will help them regulate a little bit more, and get them to a point where they can rejoin their class and have a better day for it.